Alright, first build update. I actually pretty much got the cage assembled first, and a couple reasons for that is I got into the diffs, and I'm not used to 10 scale diffs. These are a little bit small, but this is my first 1/10 scale kit, so you know, they're all metal, which is fantastic. What I don't like about it is these screws, and everybody on the Losi, Rock Ray, and Baja Ray Facebook group talks about these screws. Phillips head, super tiny screws. So I didn't put the diffs together because I want to get the actual machine screws. These are the machine screws I have on order, are 2.5 by 10 millimeter flat head screws. So I still wanted to do some building the other night, so I busted out the cage, and it looks pretty cool. Love the little drivers and the helmets, and I'm pretty sure this part I'm going to have to redo because this doesn't look like it lines up. The directions aren't the greatest. I'm putting this cage together, but I do know that you put the piece that connects to your shocks right here, so that's why it's not 100% finished. And if you saw my kind of intro video, I already put the tires together. I went with Proline 2.2 closed cell foams instead of the stock foams. I'm hoping it'll keep some of the ballooning down, because I am wanting to run this on 3S. If not, I've seen some guys use Proline Badlands. They're quite a bit smaller, but that might be the route I end up going. Alright, I got the front end put together. The arms are on. I got the front bulkhead all together, and let me just say this SSD front bulkhead is very, very nice. So we got the front spindles on, and they got this nice little rotor thing. It's kind of a cool little touch. And then drive shafts that are splined plastic. Apparently 10th scale vehicles are all about the plastic drive shafts. I'm running into that a lot lately. And then the front diff, I did get in the other screws, and make sure you have a drill bit that's the right size, because the 2.5 millimeter screw doesn't fit through the ring gear. You have to drill the hole out a little bit to get that screw in there. So that's where I'm at right now, and we'll build some more. Alright, I got the rear pretty much put together here, and I like it. It looks pretty solid. This SSD third member, I think that was a nice upgrade, because this plastic is a little bit flexible, but once you put this on, and then the kit came with the trailing arm piece as aluminum, those two together I think stiffens it up pretty good. And then something I did not know is this rear is a locked diff. I was unaware of that. I guess that's fine. I don't know much about trail trucks anyway, rock racer trucks. And then it was interesting, the drive shaft is just one long shaft that runs all the way into the diff on each side. So that was kind of cool. So I'm liking it so far. I like the little upgrades I've done. And yeah, we'll do some more. Okay, I want to show a couple things before I move too far. Got the main chassis out here with the battery tray put together, the transmission put together, and then I put the servo mount on. This is the one that comes in the kit. It's ridiculously flexible. So this is the aluminum one made by Losi, and it's fantastic. It actually helps stiffen up this chassis a little bit more too, which is fantastic. One thing that I was trying to figure out when I was building this is what the heck this thing was for. On the battery, the battery door. So here you got this battery tray, right? And then in there you got this thing. I was trying to figure out what that was. Well, the way it is now, you can stick a standard 2S on edge and it fits in there. If you have a 3S that's a little bit wider, you take that out and then you can fit your 3S in. So that's what that's for. And then I did have a little problem with my motor mount. This is a casting. It's very soft metal, and I don't know if it's my motor. This is a 10 shock motor. I don't know if it's the motor or if I just got a bad casting, but these are the stock hole positions for the 12th tooth, which is included in the kit, and it didn't quite line up no matter what I tried. I could do a 12 and an 11, but then the mesh was extremely loose, so I actually had to get out my drill and, you know, wallow this out a little bit so I could get 12 and 12. But now my mesh is extremely tight, so I think I might have got a bad casting here. But other than that, I'm liking what I see. I did pick up some 2S batteries because as I'm putting this together, I'm seeing, you know, diff gears being smaller than I'm used to, mostly building 1/8 scale kits, so probably will be running this mostly on 2S, a little bit on 3S, but my original plan was mostly 3S, so kind of done a 180 on that. But alright, all the electronics are in. The rear end is married up with the main part of the chassis. The Mamba X fits in there nicely. I got a zip tie on there. The wiring though is like so crazy because your motor and your steering servo wires have to run all the way back up into here, back there into your receiver. And it's not waterproof in any way. As far as the receiver, I'm running a Futaba receiver. So I know some people use a balloon. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do because right now it's not waterproof because of that. I put my switch in the spot where you would normally put your connector cables for your battery, but I run XT150 so they wouldn't fit there. So what I did is zip tied them up just onto some of the plastic structure here, so hopefully they'll stay out of the way of everything when this traverses back up and down. I did test fit it with a battery. I was just trying to stay away from this link because the battery wires kind of they'll run under here and then they'll run up. So that's the plan there. So yeah, the steering rack is pretty nice with the hot racing steering rack, and then this hot racing little link to connect your toe links. So that worked out pretty nice. I really like how that worked. So I'm almost buttoned up. I just have to put the shocks on. I might upgrade these to aluminum. They're a little flimsy, but at this point I've got a lot of money wrapped up into this, so I think I'll just put the rest of it together and then run it and kind of see what breaks. Okay, we got the cage on, and now that the cage is on, these links are pretty darn solid. So I'm happy with that now that everything's put together as far as the cage goes. Light bar's on, the front's on with the hot racing link here, which makes this pretty darn strong. I'm very happy with that. And then now it looks like these guys get to hang out with all these wires and the ESC and whatnot, so it's kind of cool. You can see the Mamba X peeking out. So I'm liking it. This thing is really solid now that when you put the cage on. I was worried about a few things, but now that it's together, there are a lot of screws. No one said this truck's easy to work on, and it definitely won't be, but it's got such a unique look. So different than anything else I have. So now it's on to the shocks. The moment I've been waiting for, all put together here. Can I just say, I think this thing is really freaking cool. Savox servo is so noisy. Lights are on. Looks like the steering's way off. I'll have to fix that. Awesome. If you guys don't know about the Savox, anyway, I gotta do some more tuning and then put the body on, but it's got a ton of ground clearance too. Super cool. Here it is, all done. Got the body on, buttoned it all up. Really happy with how it turned out. I used a champagne aluminum blue color, which lighting never does anything justice, but I think this color turned out amazing. So I backed it with black, and then on the top I did a little bit of an effect there, which is kind of hard to see. There we go, focused a little bit better. Got the little Mamba Monster symbol there. So all in all, it was a pretty good build. Here's all the parts I did not use. So upgraded quite a bit. And then one thing I like that Losi did is this is all the extra hardware. So you don't have to worry about losing a screw. There's plenty left in the bag. And then some of the smaller bearings that I didn't have to use because the SSD third member and front diff case come with bigger bearings. So unfortunately it's pretty much winter now. We had snow the other day, so I don't know when I'm going to be able to run this thing because, like I mentioned, it's not waterproof. But hopefully I'll be able to get it out soon and get a little bit of a running video in. So until next time, guys, this is my Losi Rock Ray.